So I just finished a run. I finished a 4K run. Now, I'm not a runner, so 4K is actually a good amount of running for me. It is tiring, and I finished it in about 26 minutes. Now, I'm going to be building up from here on. There's this idea I've been resonating with recently. I've learned this from some of my mentors in the dance school that I'm learning from, and they talk about raising your standard. So every time we do ab exercises, we add a little bit extra to it. We do it for a little bit longer. We might do another exercise. So every time we raise the standards, little by little. And with this run, there were certain things that I decided to use as punishment. So certain things I didn't want to really do, and I indulged in those activities, and I decided if I indulged in those activities, I would run. So I owe myself a 4K, which I just did, a 5K, and a 6K. And every time, it's going to be higher. It's sort of a little punishment kind of thing to ensure that not only are there positive reinforcements in my life, but there's negative reinforcements too. Things that I have to do, experience the beatdown. And it's not a negative feeling beatdown, it's actually an empowering beatdown. It's like, alright, your word actually matters. And if you can trust your words, if you can trust yourself by giving yourself tasks, accomplishing the tasks, and building a roadmap or building a track record of different boom, boom, boom. I've done these things in my book, in the mental book. David Goggins would call this the cookie jar. He says, look into the cookie jar and take out a cookie. And the cookie is something you've accomplished in your life. And right now, as I'm running, I'm actually reading or listening to the audio book of Can't Hurt Me. I've listened to it a few times, and every time I listen to it, I get something new from it. Something sinks in. And what's been sinking in recently is this accountability idea. So, number one, you're capable of more than you think you are. Number two, actually look and audit your life and maybe see that maybe you do suck at certain things, right? Like recently I realized I was mentally becoming a little bit weaker. That mentally I was losing, not losing, but just naturally through life I went through a period where I was focusing on other things. And I realized by doing some of my inner healing work, a lot of this spiritual work is on more the feminine energy side. And you can lose sight of that masculine polarity that needs developing as well. And a lot of that masculine polarity comes from discipline and action and sticking to your words. And so, just naturally through life, working on the other side, working on my nervous system, regulating my nervous system, feeling good in the body, feeling satisfied. There's been a bit of a neglect until now to the discipline side. And now it's coming back. In fact, a few years ago I did 645 pull-ups in a couple hours, right? Which was a PR for me. I'd never done it before. And that was when I had an aspect of pushing myself. Now, that series of raising the standard, that time, I think was unbalanced. So it led to burnout. It led to, and it wasn't because of the pull-ups, it was like just a continuation of force and the force to accomplish things, right? It's very like egoically based. Like, let's use the I'm going to beat myself up to accomplish things in a disempowering way. It's like this dissatisfaction, this need to be like, this need to succeed. And I think in healing and integration, it's really important to go to the other side. So you flip over. So I've flipped over. Spend a lot of time on the other side. Like, you don't need to do anything. You can just relax, you can chill, you can be here, you can be present, you can be in the moment. And you spend some time there. And after some time, after you've integrated that idea, you realize, holy shit, there's actually something that was true about the other side of the coin. And now that I see it from a different angle, that burned out feeling, that stress, that agitation, that negativity that you see in a lot of self-improvement communities or groups of people that are using this dark energy in order to do or take action, you realize you don't need that. You realize that you can actually find something more in yourself and use that in an empowering way. And so the first time I read Goggins' book, I actually was seeing it from the darker side, a darker angle. But now, because I've integrated different energies and different understandings, now when I look at it, I'm seeing it from more of a positive light. It's like extracting the goodness, extracting the wholeness from it. So the takeaway here is, you learn from people, you extract the goodness and wholeness, and the paradigm that they were operating at, the paradigm that you are operating at changes depending on your experience. And when your paradigm changes, you can actually go back to material that is at different paradigms and different people's perspectives. And instead of being confined by their shadow sides, for example, Goggins, his shadow side is, he's pushed himself to the extreme where, he's fucked up his knees, he's fucked up different aspects of his body, he's burned himself out, maybe his relationships in his life haven't gone well, he's gone through divorces. That would be his shadow side. And his light side, the side that really is something beneficial that you can learn from, instead of just taking his both shadow and light side and trying to implant all his belief systems in your brain one for one, you say, no, I'm going to extract the goodness, I'm going to extract the wholeness from this teacher, from this person, from this mentor. And that's when you can align your truth with the truth of somebody else in an authentic fashion. That's when you can make your own roadmap, when you can make your own, this is the way. This is the way. And this way is coming from my way, which is the combination of all sorts of highways that all interweave into this one way. Now that I've decided it, through the amalgamation of all these other sources, all these other teachers and mentors and beautiful wisdom